Right. Let's try this again. Alright, we're just loading this up, making sure everything's sorted before we go again. Let's try and shoehorn Atlanta in here. I already see an interesting display of people in the lineup. See if I can get this done in this period of time. Give about 5 minutes for everyone to get in here. Shouldn't be that bad. Just wait, give it a couple minutes before everyone gets in here, and then we can go for real. Feel sorry for the poor sod that had to start the back here and had to start mid-corner. As long as this feature is done by 6:50, I should be fine. Not feature, this sprint, sorry. I get it completely wrapped up by 6. By the sprint by 5:50. We should be able to get both in before I go for food. Knock out a couple of things there. Then do a double tomorrow, Thursday. Just get a couple of extra people in here, hopefully, before we get going. All right. Just get a couple of things sorted out first. The stream link is there. Alright, well, we've gone, it's been about 5 minutes since we've gone, since this started up. The stream link is out there. People will find it if they want to. Which means we're going to be heading off any minute. I love how Kutch is just permanently down on his throttle. But yeah, right. So to start this one off, then we've got Claude that's on pole again. So that's another point to his name. Kutch in second, along in the front row with him. Brian's in third. Wax jumps in fourth, only able to get to the second row this time. See if he's going to be able to put something up against Claude. Amy in fifth, Moose in sixth. Actually, a good way for Moose to bounce back after the last couple of races that we watched earlier on. JMS in seventh, Kelly in eighth. The Corvette should do pretty decently around here. Orak in ninth, Jezza in 10th, Fracas 11th, Stewart, a new guy to the tier, I guess, the replacement for Charizard, looked like, with the Hoonigan livery. In 12th, Jin in 13th, who's just had a bad season, full stop. Doomgun in 14th, Juho in 15th, and Saeed rounds off the pack. With that, I think it's about time we get started. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Who's going to get the best start here? It didn't look like Claude was going to be that guy. He got off to a very slow start. Brian's has got off to a pretty good one. He gets up into second immediately. And Whack Jams also jumps. Kutch dropped to fifth off that start. Never mind, he is gone. He is out of there. We're just going to go immediately right back to the start and just watch what happens with Kutch here. Because this is just absolute chaos. So he gets round. He's still there. He's just about hanging on. Oh, too much grass. Too much grass. Oh, and Kelly got caught up in the process. Stuart's gone off too. Oh, that is not good news for Kutch, who's already in the wall. Facing the wrong way. Claude's ahead of Brian's in second. White Jumps in third, heading off a pretty good runner for him, Amy, Moose, and JMS. Third through sixth. Orak and Doomgun right beside each other there as well. In the background. But right now we're going to focus on JMS versus OG Moose, I think. Considering these two are the guys right beside each other going up the hill. Onto the back straight. Road Atlanta, a very quick lap. About 118 or something. Actually, it's even less than that, I think. For a lap around here. And it looks like Brian's has actually hit the front. Claude has dropped all the way back through the first lap. He's dropped all the way to third. Whack Jumps is in front of him, so Whack Jumps has had an evidently good start until right now. And then Claude on the inside there gets a nice little move, gets a nice little run out the chicane, gets it done pretty early. Here comes Amy against Whack Jumps as well, and the GTRs are going after it into turn one. Amy not able to make that move stick. Whack Jumps holds on to third for now. JMS in fifth, overtook Moose King in the last lap. Orak on the back of this. There's also a little bit of a slide there from Amy, I think, who's just lost any chance. Actually, it's a slide by Claude, who's actually just lost his position back to Whack in this one. We're going to take a look at what's happening towards the back. We're also continuously looking at what's happening. Oh, that Moose. Yeah, that's Moose. Moose in the wall. Gets too much to the outside, I'm assuming. Just slides himself into the inside wall there, and that is never a good sign. We're also going to keep an eye out on Fracas throughout this race, because, well, quite frankly, he said earlier that that we could skip it and nothing happens. So something very clearly happens to him. We've got JMS versus Amy at the moment. Right now, JMS on the outside, so going into the chicane, does not get the move because he just went a little bit too deep, fighting against that Nissan GTR, and Amy's just about doing enough to hold fourth position for herself as they go on to lap 3. It looks like JMS looks to the inside again, just doesn't make a move. Well, Brian's quite decently ahead of Whack Jumps at the start. Claude is still there and thereabouts. You got Amy right behind him. And JMS behind her, and Claus picks up 1.5 seconds worth of penalties. He cut the inside of the chicane at the top of the hill at turn 2. So that is not good news for him. He's just going to drop quite a chunk back, I think, maybe in behind JMS, and tack on another half second for going too deep at the beginning of sector 2. So Claus has just had an absolute nightmare lap, as he's about to get stopped in the middle of this straight. Wack Jumps was directly in front of him, won't be any more at the end of this. So we'll see which one, what the other GTR can do. Claude now has to serve his 2-second penalty, and yep, loses 2, maybe even 3 positions at the end of this. Aurak on the inside gets that done, and maybe Doomgun might be able to have a little look, and does as well. And Claude's suffering there, but his switch back there into the exit of the chicane does enough to get himself the position back on Doomgun straight away. Needed to do that. That was a mistake or two that he cannot have really afford. Fracas is in the wall. There it is. There it is. Fracas is in the wall at the top of the hill at the final corner. There it is. Kutch in 15th, Moose in 14th. That's the 3 that's had a spin so far. Saeed not really doing anything. Stewart also went off at the start of the race, which means he in fact has to do an awful lot to get back as well. Saeed deciding he wants to slide through through turn 3. Juho in 11th on his own. Jezza and Jin work their way up into points. Right now, Jin's got a decent chunk to catch the Corvette, and is not really close to Doomgun either. Claus is all the way back up to where Aurak is, and it's been a lap since his penalty. The 3 guys in front all having a little bit of a fight. Brian's is still comfortably in the lead, a third of the way through this race. Will be about 12 laps this race on its own. So we'll see what's going to happen afterwards. It'll be about 30 in terms of the actual race itself. The feature race I'll watch in a short while. So Claus not really closing in. Well, he is closing in on Aurak, but not really doing an awful lot. Bad day at the office, I think, so far we can categorise it as. We'll see, go to the front, actually, because Amy has got past Wack. Amy up into second. JMS might be having a look at this as himself sooner rather than later, because it's more like Wack is holding everyone up than anything else as we go through the end of the first sector. Wack is currently doing better than his best time. We'll see Wack, they'll pick up his pace at some point in the near future. We've got a little bit of a battle going on behind. Claude's on the inside of Aurak, and Claude's able to get that move done. And he's got 2 positions back after his penalty a couple of laps ago. So he's making moves at a position a lap that would be enough to win the race, but he won't be able to sustain that, not at all. Now let's see if Bryans is able to hold on to this lead. Amy is closing in. Bryans at 18.5 at the moment, 18.7 the fastest lap of the car in second, 19.0 for Wack, 19.2 for JMS. It's got a few guys that have to catch up as we go through this race so far. And JMS to the inside here against Jumps, and it's just not going to happen on this lap. Alright, well off the distance, Senna and Kelly also off the distance as well. Jin, Jeddah, Juho, all 3 of them right beside each other. Stewart's even caught up to the back of this. And what has happened to Saeed? There's also Fracas that tails off the pack. Saeed's had a bit of a nightmare here. Is that Fracas on the back? Yes, it is. So these 3 at the back are having their own little race at this point in time. You've got Kutch on his own little world in front of these. Not really anything happening here at this point in time. We'll see further up the grid. Jeddah still holding onto the back of Jin very loosely. We're going further up the grid. Wack Jant to JMS. JMS did get in front, but here comes Wack Jant with the slipstream. Is he going to be able to make a move? He's going to look to the outside before the inside of the chicane. He's going to be on the inside. He is in front. He is fully in front, but the car is sliding. And he just about does enough to save the car. And by saving the car, he saved his position as well. Up to third goes Whack. He's bringing Claws into the mix as well, which is not what he wanted to do. He wanted the buffer. He hasn't got the buffer anymore because Claws is on the inside of JMS. And Claws has made a nice move on the inside there. Easy work. Up to fourth goes Claws, and it doesn't look like Whack Jumps has a lot of pace to stop him either. Amy, on the other hand, has got in front by a little chunk, cleared a little bit of a gap between Whack and a teammate. Also, Brian's is still very comfortably in the lead of this race. You only just see Amy pop into the background of that double right-hander there. And that's indicative of how much of a lead that Brian's had at this junction on lap 7 of 12. It looks like Claws will have the slipstream here. That GTR is quick. It's got a better straight line speed than that McLaren does, especially around here. So I'd assume that Claws, trying to take the inside line here, is going to get in front. Will he get in front enough, though, by the time the chicane hits? No, he won't. So they're going side by side. And the inside line and the exit of the chicane has done its job there for Claws. And it might do the job here for JMS as well. It won't. JMS stays behind, decides not to go for the move. Would have been ballsy, but would have been arguably the smart choice on the inside there. Whack is off the track. Whack is off the track. Is he going to hit the wall? He has. Whack has hit the wall. Whack has just dropped all the way down the grid. That is not good news for Whack at all, who is outside the top 10. Goes from third, or from fourth, after Claus overtook him, all the way down. I think he's in, yeah, he's in 11th at this point in time. He still has his damage. He still has Stewart and Kutch on the back of him, so that might get even worse before it gets any better for Whack. Claus currently has the fastest lap so far. Figure out what's going on. So Doomgun just got overtook by Jin. Jin now up into 7th, which will be his best race in a long time. We'll look further up the grid. Right now, nothing really happening. Bynes is still comfortably ahead of AB, who's still comfortably ahead of her teammate. And JMS tacks on the back, Korak in 5th still. Kelly just coming out the chicane. No one really in sight of Kelly. So we'll go to this battle now, which Jin is starting to break away from. So Jin is in 7th, started to break away from Jedza, who's in 8th, Doomgun in 9th, Juho in 10th, Whack Jumps is still here and here, thereabouts, in 11th at this point in time. And this is where it just all goes right for Claude, I guess, for the championship. Because right now, Whack Jumps is, I believe, his closest rival going into week 6, and honestly, there's not a lot that Whack Jumps is doing here. It's been a bad day off. That one mistake ending any chance he had in this race, in this particular sprint race. So we'll see what he can do later on in the feature. Jedza is close to Jin. Doomgun has dropped back to Juho, who's got Whack in his rear mirrors, who just about avoids hitting him in there. As we've got a couple of guys in the middle of the pack here fighting it out on lap 9. At the front of the grid, there's a few guys close, but none really making any sort of move. Brian's still comfortably in the lead. Here comes Juho on the inside of Doomgun, doesn't make the move. Chooses not to go for it, which is a bold move at Road Atlanta. He probably should be trying to make up moves. Maybe it'll be a little bit more aggressive wherever possible. Not too aggressive that you go off the track, though. And he's in the wall. Juho is in the wall. Somehow managed to limit the damage there. But he is in the wall. And got rear damage as well. And that's going to allow for Kutch to get right on the back of him. We're not actually going to watch that. We're going to watch a little bit further in front. We're actually going to watch all the way in front because Claus has caught up to his teammate. So Nissan 2-3 at the moment. That won't change if there's an incident. That won't change if there's an overtake here. We'll see whether or not there is going to be one as we come down the straight. You'll see the Genesis up in the foreground. The tyres will be starting to go off all these cars now. We'll see whether or not there is something that is going to alter the dynamics of this race. Right now, Bryans has been unchallenged and it's cruising to a win as of this moment. It looks like Claude's just close enough to Amy, but not close enough to make anything happen. And at this point in time, Claude doesn't have to force anything. He watched Whack Jumps go off earlier, so he knows he doesn't have to force anything. It's just a case of whether or not he's able to make the move happen organically, as Bryans is well in the distance, as we are watching Fracas just have the worst race I think I've ever seen. Oh no, it's Moose King here actually. Moose King's having the worst race. There's someone even having a worse race than Fracas and Saeed. Moose is having an absolute nightmare in this one. He's not that far ahead of being lapped. It's a sprint race. I can't imagine what's about to happen in the feature. Amy versus Claude is still in the hands of Amy. Is currently second in this championship right now. Not in this championship, in this race, sorry. As it stands. See how long she can fend off her teammate for. It realistically is about to go. Be careful, Tier 4, don't cut the pit entry. Well, that'll be relatively interesting to watch later on. This is what happens when you lower your traction control. Yeah, this has been a horrible race for you. Hasn't been much better for Saeed either, to be fair. We got Claude, Amy versus Claude still going on. Not really anything happening. Aurak's on his own, so is Kelly. Jin, however, is going after, is being targeted now by Wack, who's off the track again. Oh no, I think that might have been squashed off the track this time, but he is off the track again. I think that might have just put a dent in any hopes of his points. Actually, it isn't, because all the guys behind him didn't get onto the following lap, so he has saved the point by just being there, but he is only going to get a point. Wow, Wackers, that is unfortunate for Wack, who was working his way back. Could have got a top 7 finish. It would have been damage limitations at best, but it isn't. Oh, that's a bad error. Meanwhile, Bryans is gone. Bryans round the final corner he comes. He started like a house on fire. He ended like a house on fire. And he wins the sprint in Tier 4 at Road Atlanta. Amy comes second by the skin of her teeth. Claude gets third in the end. Almost had the greatest run on his teammate to end off. JMS gets fourth. Aurak gets fifth. His racing in Tier 4 has got substantially better since when I raced with him last season, when he couldn't even make the Mazda work. You've got Kelly in 6th, Jin in 7th, Jezza in 8th, Senna, Doomgun in 9th, and Wack is, well, he's getting over the line eventually. Actually, no, he's not. Gonna cut out right there and then. He doesn't even get to finish the race. That would be demoralizing, admittedly. That would be very demoralizing. The race just completely cutting out on you. Well, now we go into the feature race for Road Atlanta. The tires will make this a 1-stop, I think. I cannot remember whether this was 1-stop or 2-stop. I think it was 1-stop because the pit lane's ridiculously long. Yeah, it is going to be 1-stop. We're just waiting for it to download, apparently. Taking a while. Or just click on very quickly so no one sees the list of cars. Just go reply to a message real quick. But yeah, just replying to this message really real quick. I will be done well in time for my food being ready. So that's beautiful. We are going to do this. Obviously, looking from the front, Moose will start at the front. Saeed will start second. Fracas third. Kudge fourth. Stuart fifth. Juho sixth. Whackjamp seventh. Senate eighth. Jezza ninth. Jin 10th. Kelly 11th. Aurak 12th. JMS 13th. Claus 14th. Amy 15th. Brian 16th after his race win. So, let's see, who's on soft tyres here? Moose, you would have thought he would have learnt his lesson by now. That you need to start on the medium tyres to win one of these races. Because unless you build up one hell of a gap, you have to believe you can get arguably like a 10-second gap just to make this work. Which is never usually a thing that can happen. Fracas on the mediums. Anyone else on the softs? Stuart starting on the soft tyre as well. Mediums for literally everyone else, including Kelly, who has apparently learnt his lesson, unlike the Subaru. Here we go. We go down towards the start of Road Atlanta, 40 minutes on the feature clock. And we are going now. And we're off and we're underway. OG will take us into turn one in the lead, surely. It can't be that bad. As we watch going down the list at the moment, Fracas looking to the inside of Saeed. Saeed getting a little bit slidey on the exit of his corner. Fracas holding off Kutch as well. Kutch is trying to get himself alongside. Doesn't quite make it work into turn 2 or 3. And you've got Stuart in 5th. Juho in 6th, Whackjamps in 7th, who's got pace about him, but he's got a mistake or two as well. As we go further down, Jezza's holding off Doomgun at the moment, who's probably going to get a penalty for going a little bit wide, maybe same for Jin in the first lap of this race as well. There's no penalty at all actually for what has happened here. Jin's lost 3 places at least. Oh, and there goes JMS. Who's off the track already. That is not good news for the Peugeot. We'll figure what's going on. Jin also had a little bit of a moment, which caused him to lose multiple positions as well. We continue to watch the back of the grid right now. I'm actually going to head further up the grid as we're going to watch. I think that's Kutch versus Fracas. Yep, Kutch does eventually get through. Stuart also going through now as well on the inside at the end of lap 1, does it pretty nicely up into 4th. Fracas said something that's going to happen with... Oh my Jesus Christ, what the hell just happened to Whack? I think I'm going to have to take a quick look at this. What on earth have I just witnessed? So there's grass there for Whack. Still there. No one really going after him right now. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, just a lot of grass at the exit of the final corner. And he's out. He is against the wall. Wow. Oh, and Amy's off the track. Amy's off the track as well in turn 1. And that is going to be those two joining each other at the back of the field. Brian's ahead of JMS at the moment. Jin in 12th. Claude's in 11th, who has to go after Aurak, who's got a little bit of pace about him this season. Kelly going after Doomgun as well. Oh, Stuart's had a bit of a nightmare. Stuart's had a bit of a nightmare. Gone from 4th all the way down out of the top 10. Kelly going after Doomgun still. The Corvette trying to make something work. But Aurak on the inside here. Oh, and Aurak's caused a big collision. Aurak trying to put his nose on the inside. That is not how you do that. Kelly gets hit straight into the side. I think that was Doomgun who, yeah, probably pissed at that, and rightfully so. We've got a 3 wide heading up the field. I think Juho's in 4th right now. Jezza deep! Jezza deep! Jezza pushes into the wall, into the gravel now as well. At least Jezza's waiting. It's a little bit of sportsmanship there from Jezza to wait after he just sent one from 1.5 miles back. who went past, I think it was Orak, also Saeed, and straight into, I think that was Juho as well. It was just an absolute nightmare there from Jezza on that one particular entrance into the chicane, and that's just going to allow for Claude to hit to 4th already. Brian's in 5th. He won the first race on this track, remember. Yeah, so Moose King still has the lead. Moose King actually has a sideable lead. He is on the soft tyres, so that will come back to bite him later on. We've got 30 laps of this to keep an eye on. We're on lap 3 right now. Fracas is in 3rd. He'll be enjoying this race up to this point, but he is quite a distance off of Kutch in 2nd, who is in turn quite a distance off of Moose King, who is currently leading our race. Just going through the chicane there, has actually got maybe a 4 or 5 second gap already. You've got Claude closing in. There's sharks in the water, they smell blood. And that's exactly what Claude is right now. And to be fair, so is Brian, who's closing in as well in 5th place. Anyone actually in an actual battle right now? Orak and Jin are close, but actually that's a lie. Basically the entire rest of the grid is close. And it looked like Stuart on the outside there against JMS hangs on. Amy also going after a couple of drivers as well. And JMS gets overtaken by Amy there, who I think got Corvette as well on that straight. Pretty well done by the GTR, get a few positions back. After the mistake on the first lap, already back to 9th. JMS making well, not tightening the door, not closing the door there, rather on Amy, and made to pay. You know, Kelly and the Whack Jump to, well, after his spin is on a recovery drive from this position. Can't be allowing Claus to be doing that much damage in this one, but he has with his own mistakes. Saeed, Juho, well, Saeed's on the grass again. Saeed not having a great time in that Ferrari. Juho, Jezza and Senna is at the back here. So, looking at the front, Moose King's lead is still roughly the same, but the gap between Kutch and the rest of the grid is slowly dropping off. We'll wait and see when that actually comes into any sort of question. These three going at it still. We're actually going to go a little bit further up to see if anything's happening between Whack Jumps and Kelly. They're really close at this point in time. Maybe to the inside goes Whack Jumps. Nope, that's not happening this one. We've got Stuart and Amy. Stuart dropping all the way back to 10th right now as JMS gets up into 8th. Past Amy, past Stuart as well. And actually going to have a real shot here against Jid, who's up into 7th. Orak is 6th just in front of this, and the top 5 is split already until Bryans goes into the wall. And any sort of gap he had has just disappeared. Into the wall he goes, and he's dropping all the way out of the top 10. Jane getting a little bit of a slide on the inside there. I think JMS looking to push maybe a little bit of a gap on the inside there, but learned from the last couple of laps where we saw Jezza just pile straight into Orak. But for now, we're on lap 5. The JMS is going to have a go here at Jin for battle. It doesn't look like, yeah, Jin can't hold on. Maybe there's a look for Amy down the backside here. Amy's got the inside line. A little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a push, and here comes, I think there goes Stuart as well. Stuart with a double move on the inside. Beautiful move just to poke at the hole. Oh, and that goes Kelly. There goes Kelly in the background, straight into the wall. Straight into the wall there. And that's going to do him no favours whatsoever. Stuart did a nice little double move as well on that last lap, poking through the hole that was made by Amy going after, I think it was JMS and co there. No, it was Jin, sorry, Jin, who's lost a few positions down to 10th. Whack Jumps is back up to 8th. He needs everything he can because he has to close the gap to Claude's in this race. Just for damage limitation, there's nothing else. But right now, he's not really been able to do an awful lot. Jin drops to 11th as he is not really recovering from that last chicane. further up the field, you've got JMS going after Aurak, but it's not really a close battle at the moment. JMS is actually closer with Stewart in 7th than he is Aurak. And Fracas is currently in 4th, but that's just comedic timing, isn't it? As we watch Fracas go straight round. Fracas is not enjoying that chicane exit at all. Again, round, like we saw. Oh, Wax just straight to the back of him. JMS has not been on the grass much, no. In fact, it's been Fracas who's just spinning like a record this time round. And same with Whack Jumps, actually. Whack Jumps is probably the one that's been on the grass the most. From what I've seen, Fracas is trying to gain his composure back after spinning on the last lap, drops himself down to 7th. He was in 4th, he had a decent control over a race finish, but now he's at the mercy of everyone else. Switch to you immediately. It's pinched. Oh god. We'll continue to watch you, actually, considering you're right in the thick of things right now. Jinxed him from the future. Yeah, I'm good at this, you see. I'm good at jinxing people. That's a commentator's talent. If you are not good at jinxing people, you're not a commentator at heart. Come on. We've got Amy in up into 8th, actually, now. Whack Jump's not really doing a good job at protecting his position. Amy's going to have a go right now on Fracas, but doesn't really amount to much. Whack Jump's had a better run. Dogging closed there by Amy twice. One to the outside, one to the inside. As Amy now has a go at Fracas. Has a bit of a run down into turn 1. That GTR's probably got a better braking zone than the Peugeot as well. In terms of, actually, well, it's that overtake forced a move from Whack Jumps as well, who just poked through the hole. And Fracas lose another 2. Fracas' day has just gone from bad to worse, and now he has the sprint winner right behind him, who might be about to make it even worse. We got Jen in 11th here as well. On the back of this group, Whack Jumps currently in 8th. We've got Amy just in front of this, trying to clear a little bit of a gap. But also at the same time has to catch back up to Stewart and JMS, who is in front. We go further up the grid now. Claude is in a little league of his own here, apparently, in 3rd, whilst Kutch and Moose are very much in the distance at this point. Brian's currently has the fastest lap of this race so far. And we'll see whether or not Moose is able to hold this down, because he's got just Kutch behind him at the moment, in striking range for when the pit stops come about. This could be huge. This could be absolutely huge for Moose. He had that one win in Suzuka last season. Albeit it was half gift wrapped by me, but we had that one win last season. He might be looking to add to it here. Alright, got JMS right on the back of him now. I wonder where his pace has disappeared from the sprint to the feature. Maybe not so good on the medium tyres. And JMS definitely is. He is closing that gap on that FT1 pretty quickly until he half spins. He almost lost the car entirely there. You don't want to be doing that too often. If I keep watching you, my jinx will probably get lapped by everyone in the race. I think like that's foreshadowing. That's what I feel like that is. Let's see if anything's happening further back. Brian's up into 9th, Jin into 10th, Fracas is down in 12th. What the hell happened here? He's actually about to be assaulted by the rest of the grid as well. So it might be the case that he might drop right to the back here. Moose King still holding the lead, the front 3 in a very, very comfortable position compared to the rest of the grid right now through 9. We go on to lap 10. Watching Fracas now. We'll probably go a little bit further forward actually, see if there's any sort of battle developing. Stewart in 6th is in his own little world right now. Quite a distance ahead of Whack Jumps, but not really on the back of JMS at all. We're on the back of Aurak loosely, I think is the best way of putting that. The Estonian had improved his racecraft as well. His racecraft and his pace quite considerably from the last year, from the last season, when somehow he's driving the Mazda better than he was he's driving the FT1 better than he was the Mazda, which is rather impressive. Yeah, right, go back to the front, see what kind of gap is developing here. Moose is 19.5, 19.8 here from Kutch, so another 0.3 of a second gets tacked onto the lead for Moose. Claus, however, 19.9, so yeah, Moose is in fact opening the gap a little bit here. He needs to do that consistently while he's on the soft tyre compared to the mediums of both the other drivers. We're on lap 11. We won't be too far away from where people, especially on the soft tyres, decide to pit. The medium tyres will go another 6 or 7, I reckon. Before we play Ring Around, we play the Benny Hill music in the background and try to figure out where everyone's going in for a pit stop. But right now, Stuart, Aurak, Senna, Kelly, Fracas, Juho. Got you. I have the YouTube comments up on my screen, so that list has now been noted. Aurak having a little bit of a nightmare there and just about keep the car on the tarmac. That is, you don't want to be doing that an awful lot. You don't want to be touching grass at all here, to be completely honest with you. It will just kill you. And the front three are well in the distance. This lap, 19.3 for Moose, 19.4 for Kutch. Is this going to be better for 19.4 again for Claus? So another 10th added on to the lead for Moose in this race. Aurak just out of JMS, Stuart in the background. So basically the entirety of the middle of the pack when it comes to pit lanes having their own fiasco. Aurak's not really looking an awful lot comfortable on those medium tyres against JMS. Aurak will be fine, or should be fine, when he gets onto the soft tyres if the sprint was any indication. But for now, he's under heavy fire from JMS on the in the Peugeot as we're onto the middle of lap 12. We're about 15. We're a sprint race through this feature race now. Everyone, the back of the grid is quite crumped together. The rest are in their own little worlds at the moment. No real movement going on outside of the back of the grid, apart from here where JMS is going to go to the outside against Aurak. He went deep though, and he went wide on the entry, and that's going to give Aurak all the time in the world to hold that position. And you expect someone to make that defense there, given what just happened, and JMS needs to be a bit more aggressive in this race. I think he needs to get past Aurak at any sort of cost, given the fact that he is losing time, not gaining it. We're going to have a little bit of a look within the group behind us. So Whack Jumps is ahead of Amy, ahead of Brian's. Brian's not really making any headway into this race whatsoever after his spin. He won the feature, so you would have expected some sort of showing here from Brian's, but there's no real urgency to move to the front. And you can tell that by the way that this race is going. He's just sat in 9th. He isn't even close to getting Amy to move his way up the positions now. We've got a triple threat in front of us as well. So 2 sets of 3 in the mid-pack. JMS, sorry. JMS, Aurak and Stuart in the front. Whack, Amy and Brian in the back. We'll see whether or not things are likely to change as we go along. Moose is just continuously opening his gap, especially to the front 4. From 4th, it's the front 3. He is in front of Kutch, and Claus is there as well, so we'll see whether or not things are going to happen as we go along. JMS really close to Arak, but again, nothing happening. He just needs to be aggressive. He needs to get on him. He needs to get a move on here, JMS, because he is losing time rapidly. He needs to make a move. At some point in the near future, Stewart's just dropping in and out of this battle, and it's allowing the top three, the following three behind us, to actually tack themselves onto the back of this group. We might be going into a six-way. And, well, it's a little bit of a six-pack challenge sooner rather than later. But, yeah, it stands still no movement whatsoever, as Wack and Amy are really clear of Brian behind them. We'll go watch this, and then when they go into turn one, we'll watch the rest of the group figure out what the back of the grid is actually doing, because they're in the starting to spread out a little bit. It looks like Moose is also losing his grip on the lead a little bit to Kudge. We are on lap 15 and we're going into pit stop. So Stuart, and because I am an absolute twat, let's watch these again. Stuart going into the pit lane. No. You need to carry a lot less speed than that. You need to carry a lot less speed than that. There's a 3-second time penalty. You didn't say that much. You say that much for sure. You get the already hear the Benny Hill theme playing in the back of my mind. When you see these pit stops, there's one. Kelly not pitted yet. Neither has Fracas. Currently in 10th, working his way a little bit further back through. Senna hasn't pit either. Nope, no one else has yet. Jin is in 13th as well. Jin's race has gone from bad to worse as we go along. Stuart, the only one actually pitting as of yet, will take his 3-second time penalty for certain though. We'll see whether or not we can deal with what's going on here. Actually, I'm going to take a look at JMS versus Arak and see what's going on here. JMS, Moose King's in the pit off of his soft tyres. Let's see what he can do now. JMS on the outside of this chicane though, gets himself in front. Is he going too deep? No, he is not. That is actually very well. It's executed perfectly. Arak has apparently forgot that there is a hill. Oh, what the hell am I watching? What is that pit entry? That was, he slowed down, attempted to make it, and then sped up on the crest of the hill, where you knew you weren't going to make it. That is certainly a very interesting style for the pit lane. I guess it'll tack 3 seconds on top for you. And, well, we know what we got to do here. We like watching, we got a list, we're watching all these pit lane entries. Up, Senna just forgets where he is. Oh, actually, that's not even that bad. That's just unfortunate. It's a slight cut. There's 3 seconds there for Stuart. There's a slight cut for Senna. I don't think... Oh, that camera angle doesn't make that one look anywhere near as bad as the other two we've watched so far. Jezza is really close right now to Fracas. Kelly in front of him. Moose King has come out in 7th, and I think... he might have come out in free air. He has on those medium tires, so he has to put a little bit of speed behind it now. Well, let's see if where he comes out. If anything is to go by, he should get a podium regardless, unless he is about to screw this up. There should be a podium in this race for Moose King, and Kelly's just having a bit of a nightmare there. Fracas has a go. Fracas has a run. Fracas can go down the straight. Can he get the move? Will he get the move? I don't know if he will. Yeah, he will. He's in front. Fracas gets by. There's a yellow flag in front of us. Who is the yellow flag for? Someone's had a bit of a nightmare here. No. What has happened here? I'm trying to figure out what has actually happened here. Where is the yellow flag? The yellow flag is actually in front. It's Whack Jumps! It's Whack Jumps! Oh! Oh no. Well then indeed. Kelly still going, everyone is still going here. Matt Jant spinning into the, well, essentially spinning into the pit lane. That's unfortunate on his end. Fracas up into 7th at this point in time. I thought for a minute that I had jinxed Moose into oblivion. But it turned out it was Wack making yet another mistake to add to his comedy of errors in this particular week. Yeah, it's not very good. We continue to watch these guys, actually see if anything's happening further up the grid. We've got Kutch who's going into the pits now and actually does it relatively normal, Cords staying out on the medium tyre. Can't imagine JMS is when the entire left hand side is gone. Amy's right behind at this point in time. I assume JMS is going into the pits here, and JMS is going to do it normally. Amy is staying out. Kutch into the pits, JMS into the pits. Brian is going to just about make it into the pits himself. Moose, that's a little bit of a slide. I'm interested in seeing where Moose is coming out against Kutch here. Kutch is coming out on the soft tyres. Moose needs a bit of a gap. Moose needs a considerable gap more than anything else. Is he going to get it? Is he going to have it? What kind of gap is he going to have? He is in the lead of this race. Kutch was ahead of Claus. Claus is... Oh, God. I don't like what you've just said there, Moose. Because you are clear. You are gone. As it stands, you are gone. You have a 3 or 4 corner advantage on Kutch, who's the next one's in on the line. Fracas is also going against Kutch at the moment. Also, I think, yeah, Kelly actually had his pit stop. We're not even going to bother. I've missed the boat on that one. Amy's currently second. Cords, the Nissan GTRs haven't pitted yet, but we are about to go into pits now. In goes Claus, in goes Amy. Pretty sure Amy just about avoided a penalty there, if she even has. Moose currently in the lead of this race. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that Moose screws this up. Fracas is going into the pits. I mean, it's an interesting line, I'll say that much. Yeah, you probably saved yourself a pit lane entry penalty there, though. He is... You didn't touch that yellow line at all. So Kutch and Moose are out ahead of Claude by quite a considerable margin. Moose, how do you get this wrong? That is, you've got an entire hill to separate you and the rest of the field. This has to be me and Daytona levels of being in the lead. I can't imagine this being a smaller than an 8-second gap. What are you doing, Fracas? Fracas! What are you doing? Oh no. Okay, well then. That's an interesting exit out of the pits as well. He's kept it on the track, to be fair. Oh, he hasn't fueled! Oh, he hasn't fueled! Oh, no! Fracas! No! He's pulled a skinsy! He's pulled a skinsy! He hasn't fueled! Oh! Oh, no! Oh, Juho's had an absolute nightmare into his pits as well. Oh, Fracas! No! He's he's forgotten the fuel. Oh, that is... Oh, man. Well, that is a crushing mistake. Everyone's separated out now. That is a crushing blow. We got Stewart behind his teammate Brian in 7th at the moment, who's just not got going at all in this feature race after winning the sprint race. And Wack is currently down in 9th, Claude in 3rd. Wow, I don't have words. Trackers, yeah, he's still driving without fuel. Oh, that's sad. That is sad. Juho would say that his 3-second time penalty for his pit entry. That'll bring him back towards Senna and Jin. These guys are not actually going to get lapped very close. Say that much. Wacker's just ahead of Stewart. What the hell is happening here? That gap has been crunched. Kutch has closed in all the way. I don't even think Moose is just fighting Kutch at this point. What has happened here with... this is... Yeah, Moose is not quick on these medium tyres. Kutch is flying. 18.4, he's gaining 1.6 seconds a lap. Moose is in trouble here. Lap 21, about 8 laps or so to go. I don't really know what is going to happen here. All I know is it's not good. He's just about holding on against Kutch at this point in time. Kutch on those soft tyres is about to make this easy work, surely. Unless there's a mistake coming from the Porsche here, I don't think anything else is going to happen. This, in all seriousness, should be as easy of a win as Kutch is going to get. Moose King should get a podium. Kutch should definitely be able to break away and get a win from this, surely. We'll wait and see. Claude is also closing in on the pack as well. Kutch currently has the fastest lap of the race so far in 18.3. Kutch is still close, but not close enough. As we continue to watch the front of this grid unfold in this race. 1 lap 22, about headed to lap 23. Here comes Kutch, who's now within half a second of Moose. Probably not even a half a second. It's probably less than that. 1:19.0 as he tries to get by. He's now going to try into turn 1. He had the inside line. Moose has the outside line. Moose is going... Oh, no. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. He went onto the grass there, Moose. Moose is on the grass, but he's managed to save it from serious damage, but that's going to allow for Kutch to go well off into the distance now, and well, that should be game, set, and match for the win of this race. Well, you know something's going to happen sooner rather than later here. We don't know what. Brian's versus Aurak. Brian's is up into 6th as he finally gets going in this race. It only took him 25 minutes, but he's finally got going. And it looks like Aurak is the unfortunate first victim of Brian's speed here on the tyres on the second stint in this race. It looked like Aurak's just going to have to settle at the moment. Wack Jamps is in 8th and trying to charge him down, as Wack Jamps needs damage limitations at his finest at this point. So, yeah, Brackus is on the back of everyone. Oh, never mind. He's on the back of everyone plus a lap. Well, that's the foreshadowing from earlier, being lapped down from everyone. That's certainly something. He's got Jin with a penalty in front of him here. Kelly versus Jezza, not really going to happen on this straight. Stuart versus Wack versus Aurak, also not going to happen. Brian's versus Amy. Yeah, that's never going to happen either, because Amy is quite considerably ahead of 6th place. So, let's have a look more towards the front of this grid again. What is going on? The Kutch is clean. Everyone is about a second or two away from each other at the front. JMS is a long way off. Amy gets a 1.5 second time penalty. That'll bring her closer to Brian, but not really. Given the fact that we have about 6 left on the clock, maybe a little bit more. I don't really think there's much of a way for Brian to get a position unless there's an absolute bulldog in this race. Here we got Amy, who's got a penalty, will get closer. Brian is just starting to head into the double right-hander now. We'll gain about 3 or 4 seconds-ish on Amy in this straight, which is nowhere near enough given the gap. But it's definitely enough for JMS to just breathe off into the distance in 4th. He'll take that. The middle of this group is all bunched up in terms of what we actually have left in this race to call bunched up. Everyone's quite a distance away from each other. Like Jamps is not near Aurak enough. Kelly and Stuart not really there. Jezza also close but no cigar. At this point in the race, with about 7-ish minutes left on the clock. Jezza is pretty quick. 18s for him right now, 19-0 for Kelly. So Kelly has to get a move on right now in order to stop Jezza from taking his top 10 spot. We'll see whether or not he's able to do it as we go further into this race. Wack is really close to Aurak now. Aurak's pace has just been non-existent here, like the sprint. Moose is still second, still a Kutch in the lead, and Claude's in 3rd. Wack Jumps needs all the points he can get. He needs to get himself in front of Aurak and pushing towards Brian. He's going to go to the inside here against Aurak, and he's not going to get it. Aurak just about enough to hold on against Wack Jumps for the moment in time. We'll see whether or not Wack Jumps chooses to go for something here. Is he going to be able to? No, I don't think he is. He's looking for it and doesn't get it. Stuart stayed in front of Kelly, who stayed in front of Jezza as well. Nothing really changing an awful lot here. Doom getting over. Doom Gun not getting anywhere here against Juho, who's starting to fight his way back through as well. He's got better tyres than the rest of everyone back here, but it's only going to be probably a 12th max in terms of everything here. We're going to go back to the mid-pack. Oh, that did not look good for Kelly, who's gone a little bit deep twice. Oh, the car sliding just a little left to right here for Kelly, who's just going to open the door just slightly ajar for Jezza to try and catch back up. We'll wait and see whether or not that can actually happen. We've also got Wack versus Aurak up ahead. I'm actually going to go to that, because Wack is definitely within shot this time, and he's got a better run. Is he going to be able to get past this FT1? Is he going to be able to? Down the straight, still following in the slipstream, still going. He's going to pull alongside now. Oh, never mind, he did the grass. Never mind. He's decided to go to the outside for some reason and just forgot that there is grass on the outside. It wasn't even a squeeze. There's just, I don't even know what I meant to call that. Remote maybe disconnected or something. That was, I think he's oblivious to where he actually was. But he still managed to hold the 8th nonetheless, because he got a nice bounce off the grass. So just about survived that Wack Jumps in the end. Aurak survives another lap as well. We're going through. Oh, someone had an app. Who's had a problem? Fracas, why are you in the pits again? Why are you in the pits again, Fracas? What are you doing? Well, for Jesus Christ, there's a lot of people in this list now. Damn. A lot of things that can actually happen as we head into the middle of the second sector here at Road Atlanta. We've got 6 cars within earshot of each other. Stewart and Kelly closer to the 2 though. Wack has got to work up all the courage all over again to go after Aurak, and honestly this time not going to the grass probably a good idea, as we watch Kelly with the inside line now against Stewart. Goes for it in the end. Oh, a little bit of tap on the Genesis. Oh, there goes Jezza out of nowhere. Almost shoves Kelly straight off the track. Out of absolutely nowhere. That was an RKO, that one from Jezza. Almost straight into the side. And Wack is not able to get past Aurak either. He's just hanging in there as much as physically possible. Aurak is doing a good job at defending right up until now, where Wack is on the grass again. Wack has a thing for tracks with grass and going off the track, and apparently... Oh, what the hell has happened there? Stewart's gone on the wall. Might have been a bit of a double contact there. Maybe a little bit of a sandwich, and that's the end of any chance Stewart has of a top 10 finish. Jezza does eventually get past Kelly. I think Kelly had a mistake too. Yeah, Kelly and Stewart both had mistakes there, so Stewart gains his top 10 back, but we'll have to fight with Kelly as Jezza gets up into 9th and onto the back of this battle between Wack and Aurak. Uh-oh. Well, oh no. Oh no. There we go. Down towards turn 1 we go. Oh, Moose is still second. Claude is in 3rd on lap 29, and that's grass. That is a lot of grass. That is a ton of grass. You do not want to be there. And Moose is the wrong way round. All over again. There's something every single week at this point. It's like watching myself in the mirror. Oh, God. Moose, no. Fracas and Moose all having both having their glaring mistakes in the end of this one. There still should be a podium in this for you, Moose, who gets a couple of laps left in this race. We're on 38 minutes and you'll go 30 laps this race. Maybe 31 if you're lucky. There's surely still a podium in this. JMS's tyres are absolutely gone. Wow. Well, that's what happened to Moose then, I guess. Claude, the presence of Claude is enough to cause a spin, apparently. Also, where is Aurak? Aurak's had a spin himself as well, which leads Wack versus Jezza. Wack has managed to get back up to 7th. Moose has caused the damage limitation to become even worse, though, with his spin. Some of the guys are now on to lap 30. Wack against Jezza down the straight. Jezza should have this, especially on fresher tyres as well. Jezza on the outside with the inside of the second part of the chicane. Oh, goes a bit deep, but doesn't even need the line in the second to actually get in front of Wack, who's managed to hold on, but hold on to the side of Jezza, but not the actual position, as Jezza finally goes on. Jezza just about holds on. I didn't even realise we'd hit the 40-minute mark. Jezza just about holds on against Wack jumps in the end. Alright, gets 9th. We got a couple of laps to go here, a couple of cars to go over the line now, as we watch Kutch goes down into the chicane one final time, and quite frankly, since coming out that pit lane, relatively untouched. Moose had a moment, let him go through, and Kutch wins in Atlanta. Claude gets second, surely. Moose gets 3rd. Please, Moose, don't pause it up again. He shut off second from himself, but he does, even with the mistake, the strategy being wrong, and all of the above, managed to get himself on the podium. JMS gets 4th, Amy gets 5th, Brian gets 6th. The first of the 6th, I think he'll take the day. Jezza gets 7th, Wack gets 8th, Aurak gets 9th, Stewart gets 10th, Kelly 11th, Jin 12th, Juho 13th, Doomgun gets 14th, Fracas ending off a lap down. in 15th. Also, Ryan, the answer to your question, what race is next? It will be Spa in the night, but that won't be today. That will be tomorrow, about 3-ish, I reckon. But yeah, because I have to go for food now and then go and do F1 comms at a certain point in time as well. But, wow. This race wasn't as good as the one that came before it, the Low Road Atlanta. For Tier 4 anyway, Interlagos was absolutely incredible. But it's still a good race nonetheless. And that leads us with 2 to go. That leaves us with Spa in the night. And then the finale that happened on Monday night at Lago, which I'm glad, I guess I'm not covering mine. But no, nonetheless, I will see you guys in a bit.